The ancient forest stretched far and wide, its towering trees casting elongated shadows over the woodland floor. At its core, hidden from the outside world, stood an imposing mansion, abandoned and decaying. Thornwood Manor, as it was known, had stood empty for over a century, its walls silently bearing witness to a long-forgotten past. Legend had it that the mansion was cursed, haunted by the restless spirits of its previous inhabitants. But this did not deter Sophia, a young journalist with an insatiable curiosity. For years, she had been drawn to the stories of Thornwood Manor, and now, armed with her notebook and camera, she had come to uncover the truth. Sophia arrived at the mansion one crisp autumn morning. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and a haunting silence permeated the surroundings. She pushed open the rusted iron gates and made her way up the overgrown path, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The front door, heavy and ornately carved, creaked open to reveal a grand entrance hall. Dust motes floated lazily in the weak shafts of sunlight that filtered through the grime-covered windows. The air was musty, and the once opulent furnishings were now covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Determined to document every detail, Sophia began her exploration. Each room held remnants of the past, a faded portrait here, a broken chandelier there. But it was the library that caught her attention. The room was lined with shelves filled with ancient books, their spines cracked and faded. In the center of the room stood a large, mahogany desk, its surface cluttered with papers and quills. As she examined the desk, Sophia found a diary, its leather cover worn and fragile. The diary belonged to Lady Eleanor Thorne, the last known occupant of the mansion. According to local lore, Lady Eleanor had been a recluse, driven mad by the tragic loss of her family. Intrigued, Sophia began to read the diary, its pages filled with the tormented thoughts of a woman spiraling into madness. As the day turned to dusk, a cold wind swept through the mansion, rattling the windows and making the old floorboards creak. Sophia shivered and wrapped her coat tighter around herself. She was about to leave the library when she heard a faint whisper, barely audible. "Help me!" Sophia's heart skipped a beat. She turned, her eyes scanning the room, but there was no one there. She tried to dismiss it as her imagination, but the whisper came again, louder this time. "Help me!" Summoning her courage, Sophia followed the voice, which seemed to be coming from the grand staircase. She ascended the stairs, each step echoing in the silence. At the top of the stairs, she found a long corridor lined with closed doors. The whisper grew louder, guiding her to a room at the end of the hall. The door creaked open to reveal a bedroom, untouched by time. The bed was neatly made, and the air was filled with the faint scent of lavender. In the center of the room stood the ghostly figure of a woman, her form translucent and shimmering. It was Lady Eleanor, her eyes filled with sorrow and desperation. "Please," as she implored, her voice a haunting echo. "Help me find peace." Sophia's fear was replaced by a deep sense of empathy. She approached the spirit, her voice trembling. "How can I help you?" Lady Eleanor's eyes seemed to pierce into Sophia's soul. "Find the truth," as she whispered. "Reveal the secrets that have bound me to this place." With that, the spirit began to fade, leaving Sophia alone in the room. Determined to uncover the truth, she continued her exploration of the mansion. In the attic, she found a hidden compartment containing a box of old letters and photographs. Among them was a letter addressed to Lady Eleanor from her husband, Lord Edward Thorne, who had mysteriously vanished. The letter revealed that Lord Edward had been involved in a secretive and dangerous expedition, seeking a legendary artifact said to possess immense power. The expedition had ended in tragedy, with Edward and his companions meeting a terrible fate. Consumed by grief and guilt, Lady Eleanor had withdrawn from the world, her spirit unable to move on. Armed with this new information, Sophia decided to write an article that would finally tell the true story of Thornwood Manor. She spent several days in the mansion, meticulously documenting its history and the lives of its inhabitants. As she worked, she felt a growing connection to the spirits of the past, their whispers guiding her. On the final night of her stay, Sophia sat in the library, her article nearly complete. The wind howled outside, and the mansion seemed to groan in response. Suddenly, the temperature dropped, and the room was plunged into darkness. A ghostly light appeared, revealing the figures of Lady Eleanor and Lord Edward, reunited at last. "Thank you," a Lady Eleanor whispered, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You have given us peace." Sophia watched as the spirits began to fade, their forms dissolving into the light. The mansion seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. She knew that the spirits of Thornwood Manor had finally found the closure they had long sought. With her article finished, Sophia left the mansion, vowing to share the true story of Thornwood Manor with the world. The haunting whispers of the past had been silenced, and the mansion would no longer be a place of fear, but a testament to the resilience of those who had lived and died within its walls. And so, Thornwood Manor stood, its dark history now a story of redemption and peace. The forest, once foreboding, seemed to welcome the sunlight that filtered through its canopy, casting a warm glow on the ancient mansion. The spirits of the past had been laid to rest, their stories finally told.